Hey everybody, Steve with TentandTable.com, and today we are going to talk about a 10x10 high peak frame tent setup. So here we have the boxes that all of your equipment is going to come in. It is important that you take inventory when you first get your tent. Make sure that you have your 4 base plates, your 4 corner fittings, 2 cross cables, 4 ratchet straps with D-rings, and 4 ratchet ropes. Here we have our tent top, which does come with a nice storage bag, so we'll get that out. And now we'll take out all the pipe work. You have your legs and your eave spreaders. They should all come in the same box in a 10x10. The stakes will be stored inside of the pipes. So don't be worried if you don't see your pipes in the box. They're in the pipes. Go ahead and shake those out. And here you see we have the rest of the equipment we need to set up our 10x10 high peak. We'll start by assembling the frame on the ground. It is important to note that while you're getting these pipes in, you don't want to use an up and down motion to get these pipes in. Use more of a twisting motion to get them all the way seated into the fittings. You'll notice that the hook is on top of the corner. That's how you know it's right, so you can hook up these cables. You'll hook up one cable. You may have to lift the corner of the tent frame up to get that cable on there. It's important to note that the second cable should be on top of the first cable during installation. This is going to make it much easier to get your center mast where it needs to be when we put the tent top on. So at this point the frame is assembled and we are ready to skin or get the tent top put on there. So we're going to open this up on a ground cover or tarp. I highly recommend everybody uses a ground cover. Keep your tent top nice and white. We're going to hook up one of the cables, and this is going to allow us to stretch that tent top over the frame, and it's going to be right where we need it to be because it'll stop stretching when it gets to where it is. At this point, you're going to hook up all of the nylon straps to the corners. The last one is always going to be the toughest one. That's this one here that has the nylon strap on it. It's going to take some maneuvering, it's going to take some wiggling, but it'll pop in, and once it does, your tent is now ready to be put up. So we're going to put 2 legs on. And this is going to allow us to get underneath the tent so we can get that center mast in and get the rest of the rigging ready to go. So I'll be holding up the tent top here, and we'll have one other guy come in behind me and put these legs in. And now we are at the right angle that we need to be able to get under there to get that center mast in. While we're here, we're going to get some base plates on. We're going to get the strapping on. So this is the ratchet strap for staking. And then we're also going to get the ratchet ropes on for the perimeter rope. That's going to give you a nice, tight, clean look around the outside edge of this tent. See how this side is pulling from that way and this side is pulling from that way. That's how you know you have the right loop. If it's only pulling from one direction, you have the wrong loop. So you got to find the one that's going to pull from both directions. This one's coming from that way, this one's coming from that way. That's how you know you have the right loop to hook onto. And we're just going to leave those loose for now. At this point, we're going to put the center mast in. You're going to want to take that peak pin, stick it all the way through the top of the tent, put the center mast on the top wire towards the bottom of the tent and push it up towards the center where they intersect. Push the bottom wire under the center mast plug and attach that hitch pin. This is going to stop that center mast from moving up and down those wires. At this point, we're going to continue to put the rest of the buckles on the tent around the perimeter pipe. You don't really need to tighten these down a whole lot. This is more or less just to keep the tent top from flapping around in the wind. So once you get these clipped on, you can pretty much just leave them loose. So here at this point, our tent is at an angle and is ready for the rest of the legs to be put on. So we'll go ahead and get those up in the air, and now we can continue getting the rest of the rigging on. So here we have our ratchet ropes. Again, these are going to go from that rope that you see there down to the base plate on the bottom of the leg. And you will ratchet those down using a mechanism that's in there. You push it up to give yourself some slack, and then you click the mechanism down to turn it back into a ratchet so that you can get some nice tension on there. We'll do this on all 4 legs, making sure that everything is nice and tight and secure. After you get all 4 on, at this point we will be ready to stake the tent. So we'll start at the base plates and we will get all 4 base plates staked down. And then we will move on to the ratchet straps. With a frame tent, you really only need to go out about 20 to 24 inches from the side of the tent. Depending on what your situation is, you may be able to go a little bit closer. But realistically, with a frame tent, those stakes can almost be dropped straight down to the ground. If you can get them out at an angle, it'll give you a little bit more anchoring power there. So always install your stakes straight into the ground. Stakes should not be installed at an angle. You can see here that my stakes are straight into the ground, only leaving a few inches exposed. And that's the proper way to install it. We take up the slack here so it's not flopping around on the ground and nobody trips on it. And here we go. That is the 10x10 high peak frame tent from Tent and Table.